Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
We raise money through events, auctions, golf tournaments, and fundraising to support K-State student athletes. And most importantly to us, over the last 9+ years, growing our scholarship program to local areas, high school students there.
Yeah, when we settle in, we play loose and have fun at this game that's supposed to be fun. And this is a fun team to watch. We had a rough stretch in the middle of our season there, and we've come on strong. And I don't worry about how we play in early April. When late April and early May come around, we got to be playing our best baseball, and we're starting to do that.
The Hoisington Cardinal softball team advances to the semifinal action of the 3A Regional, hosted by the Hoisington Cardinals, with an 8-1 win over the Smoky Valley Vikings.
I like how we do our format, being able to do that and have our the field events at 2 and get them all done before, except for the discus, before the run events. So the kids don't have to go back and forth and not waiting on the kids.
On the 17th hole, I counted up my score, and I was at like 86, and then it was like a par 4, I think, and it was nerve-wracking, but I got a good drive on it, and I chipped it on, and I put it in.
Here's the pitch, swung on, and a fly ball straight away, center field and deep. Blanco going back to the one, he tracked the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Luke Raley.
Didn't have much of a feel for it, but location was bad as well. It's kind of tough when that's not working, but went to some other pitches too. I tried the four seam, I tried the sweeper, threw a couple changes, tried it all, and just this whole kind of struggle tonight.
Shea down the lane, floats to left corner. Dort catches your rainbow 3 is on the way. Chichinga Thunder money ball. Thunder 92, the Mavericks 88.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in. It's a Tuesday show. Steve Webster, Mike Corson, and Mike Hesher with you from the Mayo Money Management Studios today. On the program, we've got a lot of regional baseball and softball going on. You heard Hesh a moment ago on Sounds the past 24 hours or so. We'll be talking Ellenwood baseball with their head coach, Roger Ward. He'll join us to talk about the Eagles' regional semifinal matchup that won't come until Thursday in Hayes. They'll be taking on the TMP Monarchs, who are the host team. We'll check in Russell here shortly with Cole Reif, the voice of Cardinal baseball today. He'll preview their matchup with Holcomb today in the semifinals of the 3A regional there. And Mike Corson today goes on the prowl for Panther Sports. As this is going to be cool. We like to bring you unique things here on the show. And this is neat. The Great Bend High School Electric Car Club and their team that includes Alex Allen, Matt Williams, Joshua Manning, and Great Bend High School teacher Travis Straub. Do you know the ins and outs of an electric car?
I did a story on them a few months ago. I've forgotten a few things, but we will rehash and educate.
Okay, all the sounds the past 24 hours. We'll get to those in just a moment. See our new thing that we have in here?
So if I put that on Little Blackie, will I get sucked down to the road, get a little better traction?
Yeah, you'll have low
stability.
Well, yeah, it's keep your car low, the force.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our front wing off the KVGB Yucca Farms 17X 305 sprint car. Got a little dinged up, so they put it on there and said, well, yeah, I'll take it.
I was looking for paint colors from other cars. Where is it?
I think it's maybe they went to a more dynamic one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We're race car owners.
So keep that back there. A lot of times when people are in studio, I forget what I'm doing. So I'm like, welcome back to Sports Day. This says 1590.
1590 KVGB right on the front. Yeah, coming to a racetrack near you. We'll be at La Crosse here this summer at the Bull Ring out at Dodge City, heading up to Waukene and Hayes here in the next couple weeks. Good racing season right now for sprint cars. Okay, let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so. That was Central Kansas Catbackers president Cody Campfield talking about what they do with Central Kansas Catbackers through events, auctions, their golf tournament. Catbacker Tour making a stop in Great Bend today. A lot of purple down there at the Columbus Club on South Main.
Yeah, great fun last year. Probably the first one I'd been to. We got to get our picture with Jerome Tang. This year it's Chris Kleiman. So obviously, given what they did last year, because we caught Jerome at a hot time, so now it's probably Chris's turn, Coach Kleiman's turn. Yeah. Curious to see what athletes they brought last year. What was it? The basketball player. Aoka Lee was down there, I believe.
Yeah.
Got to meet one of my kids in my track rankings.
Yeah,
Brianna Rowe from Northeast Kansas.
Right.
Cooper Beebe, obviously, now NFL guy. Great
Wyatt
time.
Thompson's in town today. So, head on down there. The Cats should be arriving here any time for that fundraising event down at the Columbus Club in Great Bend. Also, Eric Steiner talking about their run of winning 10 of 12 games. They'll make a return as they're trying to get back to the 3A state tournament that they won a year ago, knocked off Heston in the championship game. And they play at 2 o'clock today. And those comments coming after they beat Russell 12-2 on Friday in the quarterfinals. That was played in Hoisington. This time they are up at Russell. Again, Cole Reif will have the call of that game today on 100.7 Eagle Country.
3A still played at Toynton Family Stadium?
I believe so.
Manhattan. Cool facility.
Yeah, Hesh was up there last year.
I think 3A may go to Topeka now.
Okay. All right.
I'll have to double check that, but I was checking just in case I had to go. And
okay.
All right. Name dropped, and it was the year they changed.
So we'll see if they can get to the championship game, which would be tonight around 6, as the winner of Holcomb and Hoisington will play the winner of Colby and Cimarron. Holcomb beat Goodland in their first-round game, 1-0. And Colby over Southwestern Heights 7-3, and Cimarron beat Lakin by the score of 8-2.
Here's the great gamble. You see a 1-0 game, you're like, ooh, both of those threw their aces. One of them survived, so you hope they burned their ace. 3A school, how many aces you got? Well, you got one ace, but how many?
He'll be able to go back again. He only threw 74 pitches. One below them, so he's good to go today. Just like Tony Moore is for Hoisington. We'll talk to Cole about that coming up. Mike Hesher, who had to call last night on 100.7 Eagle Country. Hoiston Lady Cardinals beating Smoky Valley 8-1 in their 3A regional tournament that was moved to the Great Bend Sports Complex due to wet grounds. They'll be back in Hoisington tonight. And Hesh, we've had a time change here.
We have time change all over the place, and I was mistaken. 3A is still in Manhattan, so my apologies.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the time change today?
They moved it back an hour, so the first game in Hoisington will be at 3, and then Hoisington will play Beloit about 5 o'clock. We're guessing it's because they needed a little more work on the field, but that's just a guess.
Which we like to do on this show.
We do that all the time. I was right, though, yesterday, was I not? I did my rumor about the games being moved to the sports complex. I got to take credit.
And we've got a rumor.
Next time you got a rumor, call the news department. We love those.
Well, it was a reliable source is what I should have said.
But nobody seems to be worried about the weather moving in tonight.
Well, they are in McPherson.
We got games at 7 o'clock at the sports complex. I'm like, ooh, man.
Yeah, we have turf.
And aluminum bats.
Yeah, lightning would caused a delay yesterday in the Hoisington tournament in Great Bend.
Was that thunder that was?
Oh,
that would be it,
yes.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do.
We'll just go to wood. It doesn't transfer electricity quite as bad.
Sounds cooler.
Okay. So that will be. So that's regional softball taking place, and let's see. Yesterday, Ellenwood got beat by Ellis by the score of 10-8. You can see all the matchups. See who's playing who, what station. Just go to GreatBendPost.com. Larned is in action today at the 4A McPherson Regional. The Larned girls taking on Andale/Garden Plain. Larned 12-10. Andale/Garden Plain is 15-9. The winner of that game will play at 6 in the championship against either McPherson or Rose Hill. Larned baseball also in action today at 2 o'clock in McPherson. They are taking on Rose Hill. Larned 16-6. Rose Hill's 13-10. We'll have that game for you on Hits 106.9. Winner of that contest will play McPherson or Chapman in the championship game at 6 o'clock. Lyles Lashley talking about the 5A regional coming to Great Bend on Thursday. He likes how they do it.
Yeah, kind of a mix-up of most sites. You'll have the field events going basically when the prelims start. So you do have a lot of crossover, a lot of those jumpers or sprinters, whatnot. Great Bend said, nope. So they separated them. I think he said only the discus will be going, and they're not always the crossover kids. So most of the kids will get their field events done and focus on the prelims on the track.
It's going to be fun. 9 teams will be there, Mikey, so everything gets underway at 2 tomorrow.
Yep, field events at 2.
I mean Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Field events at 2, track prelims start at 5. Top 4 obviously going to state in every event. So we talked yesterday, and I was thinking about that. That's the one thing I like about the regional format is at some point you got to win a head-to-head race. And so sometimes the first place finish isn't that interesting. You'll get some blowouts, but man, those kids fight for those 4, 5, 6 spots, and it's always fun to watch those come in.
But it's not fair. Maybe that guy had a faster time.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's still fun to watch.
Yep, so regional track in Great Bend on Thursday. Okay, Layden Hindenleiter, he was on Sports Day last week. Young man from Chase who's been battling cancer since he was 8 years old. And talking about in Sand Greens, it's not a regional format. If you shoot 95 or better, you are in. And he was talking about getting ready to play his final hole at McCracken earlier this year, added up the scores and, knew what he needed to get. He went out and shot a 90 that day, 41 on the front 9, and ended up shooting a 90. Neat kid, not very big at all. And, man, we just hope best for him as he goes to Tipton for the Sand Green Championships next Monday.
I like that he put the stress on himself. Had he not counted, who knows what he would have done, but the fact that he's like, I wonder what I'm doing, and he put that extra pressure on himself, then he delivered. But I want to say I wrote a story about him several years ago for the Lions paper. I swear it was him that he drew a picture of a hospital as a little kid, and then when they actually designed a hospital later, they said, yeah, we basically used yours as the blueprint.
Man,
always remember that story.
Man, battling cancer since you're 8 years old, and then he's still going out there and doing that as a sophomore now at Chase High School.
And didn't he, on that interview, did he come back and go to prom that night?
Well, the thing, he's undergoing another series of chemo. He just over this past weekend, and that obviously sucks out a lot of energy from you. But the last time it happened, yeah, he made it to prom.
God, that's what it was.
He made it to prom. So good luck to Layden next week at the Sand Green Championships. The call last night on KIRO. Is that Cairo? In Seattle, Luke Raley hit a 2-run homer to center field. That came in the bottom of the second inning off your boy, Brady Singer. And Seattle wins the game with a score of 6-2. Brady Singer saying the sinker wasn't working last night. Needed 108 pitches to get through 5 innings. Struck out 6. Still, he's had a great year. Season high 9 hits, allowed more than 2 runs for only the second time this season.
I think 34 pitches in the second inning, so wheel kind of fell off there. Seattle starter had basically over the last 2 seasons walks 1 batter every 10 innings, hits 2 guys in the first inning. So,
but then after that,
given his control, you got the little white box on TV. He was on the lines probably 5-6 times in the first inning alone. Couldn't throw a straight ball if you paid him $1 million. Munez comes in out of the bullpen. Righties were 3 of 34 against him, and Quintero leaves a righty in against him, a low percentage righty. So just throws striders and heaters and just unbelievable. But the stat coming into the game was Kansas City was 17-4 against sub 500 teams, and I believe that would have been 8-13 against over 500s. So Seattle was over 500.
Seattle got off to a horrible start this year. Everybody in the AL West did. In fact, Houston's still trying to battle back from their start, but they're now 19-11 over their last 30 games.
Yeah, and Jeremy Guthrie, obviously the former pitcher, kind of came in from the Rockies, was part of that World Series group, joined the broadcast last night. Fantastic. I'm like, if I'm Rex Hudler, this is the case where the quarterback sprains his toe and the backup for 3 years steps in, and that guy never plays again.
Guthrie was on radio last year some, and he's been on some this year, but I guess he's going to... So, Rex, what's wrong with Rex?
I don't know, because Mike Sweeney's been helping out Ryan, so I don't know if he just stayed home and they're doing the road trip, but... But, man,
Rex is over there cooking for Denny on these road trips. Since Denny's not along either, so.
Yeah.
They're all back in Kansas City.
Losing our voices.
And then finally the call on WWLS in Oklahoma City as the Thunder beat the Mavericks last night 100-96 to tie their West semifinal series at 2 games apiece.
I skipped that one. Got the Royals going. You had the Avs, Dallas Stars going.
Stars beat the Avs. Man.
It was 4-1 when I turned it off. I was flipping back and forth because it was 4-0 in the second inning. I'm like, I'll just watch some hockey.
Okay, we'll run down some other sports headlines later in the show. How about the Chiefs opening the regular season at home against the Ravens now on September 5th? Rematch of the AFC title game. Chiefs beat the Ravens that day 17-10. I thought this game was Chiefs dominated that game, only won 17-10. Of course, that's set up for a 25-22 overtime win over the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So that's Thursday night football coming. Kansas City and the Baltimore Ravens.
It seemed like a funny matchup. You're used to those teams playing the big games. It's either cold or wet at either one of those outdoor stadiums. So it's going to be like a summertime game.
Thursday night, though. Looking forward to that as we get closer to football season. Okay, coming up.
Did you mention that the Great Bend boys play at noon tomorrow?
Did we? I was asking you about other time changes. You're the executive producer. So
I did. If you did, I apologize.
Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah.
Because it's tomorrow. Maybe that's why we kind of let that one slide. But the boys' baseball game has been moved till noon tomorrow.
Yes.
For the Great Bend.
Yeah, Great Bend boys play in Andover against Salina South, and that will be at noon now. So a little bit earlier start for Aaron Clark's pregame tomorrow on B1043 The Point. Thanks, Hash. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll talk with Roger Ward, some Ellenwood baseball, maybe sneak some Batcat baseball in. We'll check with Cole Reif. He's getting ready to go to work up in Russell this afternoon, 3A Regional. And Mike Corson going on the prowl today for Panther Sports, talking with the Great Bend High School electric car team. All on the way here on KVGB.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Get ahead or catch up this summer with Barton Online. With 5 convenient sessions to choose from, Barton Online is the perfect fit for your summer goals and budget. At just $155 per credit hour, it's an affordable option for everyone. Financial aid options are available for qualifying students. Now enrolling for all sessions. Get started on your future today. Learn more at online.bartoncccc.edu.
Today's your chance to become an instant finalist for Tracks to the Max, brought to you by Sutherland's, Farmers Bank and Trust, Eldridge Fencing, and Ealer Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Today, we're at Kansas Land Tire, and they've got a new manager here, Destis. They want to invite you guys down for a customer appreciation.
Hi, this is Destis down at Kansas Land Tire, inviting you all to come down for our Customer Appreciation Day. Today, we'll be serving lunch at 11. Please come see us at 1820 North Main here in Great Bend, across the street from Little Dillon's. We've got some tire deals going on right now. $100 off a set of 4 tires, as well as $100 off of any $500 mechanical sales. Today only, we are doing a very special tire sale. We're selling tires at wholesale pricing plus the additional $100 off. So come on down and get you a new set of wheels.
All right, come on down, become an instant finalist today before 5 o'clock to get yourself qualified. It's Tracks to the Max. You could win that 2024 Cayenne Orange Chevy Trax.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Sports Day today brought to you by American Plains Co-op, Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend. Also by Next Tech Wireless, experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansas. And by the Marmy Auto Group, located on 10th Street in Great Bend. Regional baseball taking place here this afternoon. Cole Reif's going to have you call. Hoisington taking on Holcomb up in the 3A Regional. Roger Ward, what are you doing? You going up and getting a scouting report on TMP today? You're up in the Victoria area today.
Yeah, well, I probably should have done that, kind of hid in the bushes and watched their practice and maybe find out who they're going to start on the mound tomorrow. But, we saw them earlier in the season, and it's a good ball club. We split with them early in the season and we're ready to go. I mean, we have 2 more practices. We'll play on Thursday and see what happens.
So what about that break? I guess it's good for your pitching staff. I mean, you go back, you get a win, win handily in your opener against Hutch Trinity, 14-5, and then you get about 6 days off to go at it again.
Yeah, I don't know if we were the only ones set up that way or if any other classes were, but I don't recall. My first 2 years it hadn't been that way, and it sure does change things. Because we could go all out in that first round game if we wanted to, and still have the proper days off for guys to rest and be able to come back and be back at 100%. So it changed things, and so we have a full arsenal of arms, and we're still going to decide who we're going to start on the mound and what kind of rotation we're going to have, but we're looking forward to it.
14-5 over Hutch Trinity, pretty good opener to go out there and dominate a team and cruise into the semifinals, Roger.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, that team's really young, but, everybody was excited, and it took us a little bit to settle in. It was the first time Ellenwood had hosted a regional game, and there was a pretty good-sized crowd there, There's just a lot of buzz about it, and once we did and settled in and started putting together some good at-bats, it was fun. It was fun for those guys. It was also our senior night, which I had 5 of them. This was my first group of seniors with Ellenwood, and we were able to get that in because of the home regional game, because it originally got rained out on our last doubleheader of the year. So that was nice to be able to celebrate with those guys on the field after a big win. Real special time for those guys.
Roger Ward with us. He is the head coach of the Ellenwood Eagles. They'll play Thursday against host TMP in the 2-1A regional tournament in Hayes. Roger, talk about this year's team. What do you like about this group?
Well, we've got a mix of veterans and young guys, and at this time of the year, the young guys aren't really young anymore. They've been through, 20-plus games. They've been through the practices. They've been through the competition. They've seen kind of what it's like to succeed at this level. And, one thing that has happened here recently that has changed everything is last year Cooper Hosman was an all-stater as a junior, and he blew his knee out in football. And he has worked hard to be able to get back, and he's now fully released, and he's in our lineup room in center field and hitting the ball well. So that just changes things. And that's unfortunately it wasn't that way all year like we had planned, but it is now, and that's why I feel really good about the group.
How long's Cooper been back now?
So about 10 games ago, they allowed him to play right field, and they allowed him to hit, but if he got on, I had to run for him. Well, you could only re-enter once. So really he was limited, but I believe it's been 4 or 6 games now where he could play center field and run the bases, and it's been fun watching him hit doubles and roam around in center field, kind of like it was last year.
Yeah, it's kind of get a mid-season trade, the trade deadline. You get a guy back you didn't think you would have. So how neat is that to see a guy be able to work so hard and come back and still be able to experience part of his final run as an Ellenwood Eagle?
Well, I think, he made it personal and wanted to be on that field with his teammates at the end of his senior year, not just for maybe winning and having a chance to go to the state tournament, but getting to play your final year. And he was on a mission. I could tell it was tuning him up early. Being in the dugout, he just looked lost and at practices and stuff. But, kudos to him for what all he went through, and he's able to get out there and compete. And honestly, though, it's changed the energy of our team. It's added another element that we've needed, and I'm just super proud of that kid.
Okay, what's it going to take to get past the TMP Monarchs and then win another game and get to the state tournament? What about that first-round matchup with TMP?
Well, you know, they're solid, and they've played one heck of a schedule this year. A lot of 5A teams, even some 6A teams. You know, we didn't see their ace, quote-unquote, when we played them and split with them. I hear he's pretty good, but we've seen a lot of good arms. And if we have a good plan, we can go in there and make some things happen offensively. But we're going to have to throw strikes, and you got to make routine plays. And anytime you can do that, and our pitching staff is deep, and 1 to 9, we're pretty good in our lineup now. You know, anything can happen. We're not thinking about the next game. That's all we're thinking about now. But if we get to that next game, you know what confidence can do. And it's a team that we've beat. It'll probably be Salina Sacred Heart. They're number 2 in the state. We were one of their only 4 losses last year. It's the same group, and we would love to have that challenge.
All right, Rogers, get ready to go. Still a couple days away. Feelings going into this regional opportunity for the Ellenwood Eagles?
I just, you know, it's kind of amazing how, you know, when we started 3 years ago and where we're at now, and, you know, even being talked about is a tribute to the guys on the team. They've bought in. There's been some, you know, bumps in the road, you know, and I haven't been the easiest coach to play for, but I've always tried to get the most out of them, and they've responded. Now it's just it's their time to go out and play and enjoy it and embrace it. You know, they've won over 30 games in the 3 years we've been together, which says a lot about them. So very excited at the opportunity, and whatever happens, happens, but I think they've got a shot.
Roger, appreciate it. That's what they say about me here, too. I'm not an easy guy to host a show with, so I guess we're in the same boat, right? Okay. Roger.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of things in common.
Yeah. All right, Roger, good luck. And, of course, we'll be talking to you a lot more as Batcat season gets closer all the time. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, Roger Ward, the one and only, with us here on Sports Day, brought to you in part by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor, shop local when you can, and Equity Bank, more than 40 locations throughout Kansas. That includes Great Bend, Larned, Maxville, and St. John. Visit equitybank.com. We'll check in Cole Reif up in Russell. That's next here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Need to make a change? Get the latest devices at Nextech Wireless. Right now, you can get up to $1,000 off a new phone like the Samsung Galaxy S24 or the iPhone 15. Well, what are you waiting for? Make the switch now. Nextech Wireless. Home on the range.
Are you a Class A CDL driver looking for a new opportunity? Venture Corporation is looking to hire several current valid Class A CDL drivers. And here are some great facts about driving for Venture Corporation that you will definitely enjoy. Higher pay, even higher pay if you have a hazmat endorsement. You'll be driving nice trucks, have more flexible hours, home most nights, and seldom any weekend work. Ready to team up with a homegrown, family-owned, and local company? Don't wait. Call Leslie at Venture Corporation today.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
And today, he's the voice of Cardinal baseball. Cole Reif joining us from Russell today, where the Cardinals are taking on Holcomb in the 3A Russell Regional. Cardinals advancing on Friday with a 12-2 win over Russell. So now they get Holcomb today at 2, Colby and Cimarron at 4, then hopefully a championship game tonight at 6 o'clock. Couldn't have picked a better day, Mr. Reif. I just hope that you have your cap to fit on your head if you're not inside the press box. But
yeah, that's a requirement. And I like every time I do like spring sports, like nothing says high school broadcaster in the spring than a card table pushed up against a chain link fence. Like that is like the picture perfect moments of high school broadcasts at this time of the year. So excited to be a part of that this afternoon.
It is. Baseball's a little bit better because usually home plate is a little bit further away from your broadcast location. It's not like in softball when you're like 5 feet away and they're hearing every word, including the pitcher, catcher, and the batter, and the umpire for that matter. So that'll give you a little bit of leeway anyway.
Yeah, and it's always the best when you can get like a little crowd gathering behind you, because either one, you're doing a pretty good job and people are excited and they want to listen to you, or two, you're just messing up so bad that people want to watch the train wreck. So either way, it's an entertaining time when you have like this little posse, lined up behind you. Like let's see, last Friday in Hoisington, I don't know if it was one of Steiner's kids. But he stood like maybe 5 feet to my left and just stared at me for 3.5 innings, trying to get my attention. But he's a really nice kid, so I couldn't blame him. Maybe he's a future broadcaster.
Okay, well, that's good. So, all right, today it's going to be Holcomb and the Cardinals. Hoiston advancing. They've won 10 of 12. Cole, you seem like you're pretty impressed with what you saw on Friday night.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about that rough patch. They lost, 7 straight games in early April, but, they played Pratt, they played Kingman, they played Heston, they split a game, they split a doubleheader against Haven, probably, lost a game at Halstead where they shouldn't have at the end of April. But you look at their losses. I mean, Pratt is one of the top teams in Class 4A this year. They have 20 wins. Kingman's 19-5, Heston 17-4. Haven 17-9, split against Larned. The Indians are, the 5 seed in Class 4A as well. They're 16-6. Lions is 14-8. Halstead's the only team that they lost to that had a losing record, as I think they finished at 8-15 after losing their first round game. So all the teams that they've lost to have been quality, and since that poor stretch in the middle of April, they just kind of found their rhythm. I think mostly Tony Moore has been consistent on the mound. Mason Martin has been good on the mound. Preston Roach has had a good season on the mound. That's been pretty consistent. Their bats haven't always been consistent during that bad stretch, and now you're starting to see it. Ren Gala starting to come along. Mason Martin seems like he always has that timely hit. He could be 0 for 2, but he has that timely hit with the runners in scoring position. Moore's hitting 500s. Marcus Ingram has had some good play, went 2 for 3 against Russell last Friday. So now you're starting to get a lot of confidence in that batting lineup. I mean, even Carson Mason, who was hitting 9th last Friday, had the first hit of the ball game, and it was a double in the 3rd inning. So now you're just starting to feel confident in everybody that goes to the plate. And it's just a good combination right now for Hoisington. They've got things rolling, and that's what they did last year. They didn't have the best record. They obviously got the 8th seed in the state tournament last year, and if they're fortunate enough to get back to the state tournament again this year, they'll probably be one of those lower seeds again. But they just had those pieces, and they didn't lose a whole lot from last year's team. So, yeah, fully confident in the game. I mean, Holcomb's not going to be a pushover by any means, but Hoisington definitely has the firepower to get through.
One thing we forget about all the time in baseball and softball, I was reminded of it when Barton went to Fort Scott over the weekend and just knocked the tar out of Fort Scott. Fort Scott just threw the ball. Their defense was horrible, and that led to some huge innings. What about this Cardinal defense?
Pretty solid. I mean, all around. I mean, I think the infield you saw in the first 2 innings, they had some hiccups. One went through the legs of Gala, and then Marty, he booted a couple at shortstop in those first 2 innings. I don't know if it was jitters or what the case was. One of them was fairly bad hop that ate up Marty early on, but after those first 2 innings, they settled in. I think even more so, I mean, you saw Tony Moore get in a groove. There weren't a ton of balls that were really being hit hard after Tony got into his rhythm pitching-wise. So, the defense has been good. I think Marcus Ingram is, one of the better catchers in the CKL this year, and just a sophomore. I mean, he had a snap throw back over to first early on in the first inning, actually, against Russell, where the runner kind of got off the bag a little bit more, and Ingram just snapped it over to first base, and and they got the tag out there at first. So I think he's one of the best catchers. I mean, not too many people steal on Ingram. I think there's 32 batters that have attempted to steal on Ingram, and he has taken them out at second, thrown them out 16 of those 32 times. So
that's
it's 50%.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I mean, when it starts right there, when you got the good pitchers and then you got a good catcher, and then it kind of follows up obviously with the infield and the outfielders. But yeah, I think the defense has been pretty solid.
Okay, this is what is just silly about the pitch count, right? Because what's the situation for Houston today, right? Because Tony Moore was like he got right at the number of pitches. So, and if he would have pitched one more, then he would be out today. Is that right?
Correct.
But no, he didn't throw that one extra pitch, which could cause his arm to fall off. So he's full go today if he wants to, right?
Yeah, he's fully available.
Okay, that's dumb.
I mean, what are the chances of that? Like, obviously, you're on your home field. That so whoever's keeping track of the pitch count, they're like, oh, he's at 74, he's at 75. Like, do they just stop counting at 75 in that situation? I don't know. But, like, what are the chances of that where you're available again, hopefully maybe for today or maybe a championship game if you can get by Holcomb? But, yeah, I mean, that's odd. But that's huge for Hoisington. So now you got your pick of the litter, whatever you want to do in the semifinal game for Coach Steiner. But, yeah, I mean, having Tony available is big for their chances.
That one pitch is the difference between, an eventual arm injury. Okay.
Well, and that was the whole debate, going into that fifth inning. I was like, okay, if Hoisington, because I didn't know they were going to score 8 runs and, just get the run rule Friday. So I was like, man, I was talking about the entire inning. Does Steiner bring him back out? Does he go to his bullpen? Does he bring in a reliever? And he's like, no, I was going to bring in somebody no matter what. So even if we didn't run rule him, but it was nice to take all question out of there.
75. What about Holcomb? I'm sure their ace is done. I mean, they beat Goodland 1-0. I don't know. You know what their pitching situation's like going into today?
Well, it wasn't as dramatic as Tony. Their starting pitcher went 74 pitches, so he's also available.
Oh my gosh!
But they made a decision even when a scoreless game against Goodland that they pulled him after 5 innings at 74 pitches. So they didn't even have the lead yet. And then their reliever's really good. Jared Schultz, he's been really good. Leads the team in appearances and no starts. He always comes in, gets 1 or 2 innings. He's been really good. So they're confident in that situation. But yeah, they got the full stable as well.
74 and 75. All right, I'll leave it at that.
Can't make that stuff up.
No, okay. What about the other matchup this afternoon, Colby and Cimarron? Do you feel maybe Holcomb and Houston's the championship game? I don't know.
Gosh, maybe a little bit. Colby's solid. They came in with a record of 12-8, and they played Cimarron earlier in the year with the Great West Activities League or whatever it's called, and Colby won both those 2 games. I mean, I think Colby's feeling pretty good about their chances right now. I mean, you get a rematch with Cimarron, a team you've already beaten twice. I think Colby's they got some good arms. They got a good couple of pitchers to choose from. Seeing how they opt out for their first game, but yeah, I don't think it'll be a pushover by any means. But I think you look at the road for Hoisington. It seemed much more daunting last year. And I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything but last year, I mean, obviously Heston was the number 1 seed. I don't think many people thought Heston was going to stumble to anybody. And so if they can get through last year's bracket. Like I said, it's not going to be a foregone conclusion, but, I think this is definitely an open bracket for Hoisington.
Have fun today. Hopefully you don't get back until late tonight. That'd be pretty cool.
Ideally, that is the situation, so that way I can double up with Dairy Queen dinner on the way back. So
I'm sure Slim will probably fit you in there. He'd probably have one delivered to your table, your cardboard table over there. So, hey, have fun, Cole. Thanks.
Hey, appreciate it.
Okay, Cole Reif joining us here.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Smart stays on the road. That's why it's in your engine. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils maintain 80% of their viscosity throughout the drain interval for superior engine performance across extreme temperatures. That horizon looks good with the competition behind you. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by some special guests. The electric car team from Great Bend High School. We've got the woodworking teacher and the sponsor coach of the team, Travis Straub. And we've got junior Matthew Williams and sophomore Joshua Manning. How we doing today, fellas?
Good.
We're doing great today.
And you just told me you were going to be chatty. That was a,
I mean,
oh, it's nice out. So let's just start off, kind of explain what you guys did, because you recently competed at state. Many people maybe not know that there's an electric car competition at state. How'd you guys do? Josh?
We raced, and I mean, we took, third overall?
Took third.
Third at the race and third at state.
And where was this thing?
It was at Kansas City.
What did the state race entail?
I mean, there was 20 other cars, I think, at least.
Yeah, 3 races.
3
total.
races, yep.
Scott City, Hayes, and Kansas City Airport.
So we'll start. So we'll just kind of go back to the history. There is a nice history at Great Bend High School of this program, and I think you've been on the forefront the whole time. So kind of, when did this thing start?
We started this about 15 years ago. Midwest Energy, Wheatland Electric, Sunflower, they all want us to race in this Electro Rally Series. And so we used one of their cars that they had built previously before I got there, and that was the 188 car. And it's still being raced today by Fort Hayes in the open class. Then our 288 car was custom built at the Great Bend High School, and it no longer exists. It was a front-wheel drive car, and it did okay. And then we had our 388 car, which doesn't, it's in Wheatland, Kansas now. I sold it, but it was a steel-framed car. It won the state championship in 2018. And it took some thirds also, but components were starting to wear, and so it was just time to get rid of that. And so currently we're racing 488X, which is an experimental class of the races. We have a solar panel on it, 50 watts, and we compete by racing around a course for an hour, and however many laps you can do in an hour determines the winner.
Matthew, kind of describe this car, man. Most people know what a car looks like, but this isn't a typical car.
It's a 3-wheeled car. We have a motor in the back that powers the back wheel, 1 back wheel and 2 in the front. So we do all the steering in the front of the car, and the back wheel is what really powers it.
And so when I kind of first approached you guys a few months back to talk about the program, I guess I was under the impression with the solar panels it was solar powered, but not really, Josh. What's running this thing?
They're 2 pretty big, they're gel cell car batteries, so we heat those up, use them, and, the solar power is just there to try to keep us going longer.
So obviously a team effort, kind of Josh is usually the driver. Matthew, what's your role in putting this thing together?
I am the pit crew
essentially. I drive around in a golf cart with a bunch of tools, and I have a headset connected to Josh at all times, so he'll tell me if there's something that seems wrong with the car or if something happened, and so he'll tell me if something happened, and I'll drive over there and help him fix it.
And how big is the track? Like, so if he calls you and you're trying to follow him pretty close, or you're just responding to where he is?
I usually sit in like the very middle of the track because there's a spot in the middle. So I usually sit in the middle. That way everywhere is kind of the same distance away.
How many problems is this guy having during a race?
So far, he's had at least one minor problem, and then at a couple races, he's been hit by other racers.
So is it just you hanging out in the middle in your golf cart, or is it every other team has a similar setup?
I believe we are the only team currently that has a golf cart that we take to the races. So
this is the first year I started bringing the golf cart just because I can't take that many steps in one day. So the track is anywhere between 1,800 and 2,200 feet in length. And so basically you're sometimes 2 or 3 football fields long. So I needed to be able to get around a little bit better. And so I brought my golf cart that I have. So.
But nobody else has picked up on that and said that.
Well, they've all commented and said that I'm pretty smart. And so, yeah, it's been very helpful with bringing tools around and stuff. So, yeah.
Josh, you're the driver. How fast does this thing go?
I think in Kansas City, I did the math. We were averaging 32 miles an hour.
So, man, it's not jaw-dropping speed, but explain why that doesn't feel like 32 miles an hour.
I mean, you're, 2 inches off the ground? I mean, you're going 32. I mean, it feels like you're doing 80 passing by.
Complete fire suit?
Jeans and a long sleeve. That's about it.
And a helmet.
Yeah.
So tell me about these races, because I heard about these, but 32, I mean, we know what this car weighs?
It weighs about 150 pounds. And
So-
then the driver has to weigh 180. And so when you add all that up, we have bicycle parts. And so going at those speeds around corners and stuff like that, we wear out parts pretty easily. So.
And so how does an accident happen, Josh?
I mean, I go over like Scott City. It's a 2-lane kind of like road, and somebody tried to make it a 3-lane, and they hit me. So.
And we've all been in bicycle accidents, and maybe a few of us in car accidents. What's it like when you're in this? It's pretty snug in there. What's it pretty jarring, or how's it working there?
Initially, you don't even realize it, because with the hole, I didn't realize it till after there was a hole in the car, but it's something because it's right next to you.
And so, Matthew, you're doing maintenance on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's flat tire problems, but then there's hole in the car problems.
Yep.
What's your response when something serious happens?
When the hole happened, we kind of just realized that it happened, got the car functioning again, and then sent him off. We didn't really worry about fixing the hole right at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it took us 15 minutes to get it back on the track. And so we lost quite a bit of laps, but we still took third in that race. So I thought we did a good job getting it back on the track and getting laps in. So.
Talking to members of the Great Bend High School Vocational Technical Club, they drive the electrical car, and it recently got third at state. It's sophomore Josh Manning, junior Matthew Williams, and sponsor coach Travis Straub. So there's an educational element to this as well. What are you guys going to, junior, sophomore here, so you got some time, but what are you thinking about for the future? Josh?
I'm thinking mostly on like mechanics and just understanding how things work. I mean, it'd be a dream to, use this for professional racing, but it's out there.
How about you, Matt?
One of my plans was I'm going to go to Barton for welding, and I hope to open up my own car body repair shop someday. So this will really help with that.
Yeah, and it's not only the technical aspects, but you're making on-the-fly decisions, getting competition, working together as a team. How much is fun for you, Travis, to see kind of all those things come together in one class?
That's the beauty of this whole thing is just you see all the different components, whether it's the driver, the guys getting the car ready to race, or we have to do some paperwork because there's a paper for the state championship. There's lots of different components that go into racing. I've gathered a great deal of appreciation for people that do racing, whether it's NASCAR or drag racing. It takes a lot of effort to get the car to go around like you want it to. And so it doesn't matter what level of racing you're at. I have a great appreciation for those type of people.
And we've talked a couple months ago about this. Great Bend had actually won the state title in 2018, 2019. Obviously, COVID's in there. You kind of lost the whole program. How instrumental have this group of guys been?
And that's what it takes. It takes kids that are interested in doing it. And so, the kids that I had didn't pass that on before COVID, and so I just lost a couple years. And these kids saw it hanging in the ceiling in the wood shop, say, hey, let's get this going. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, so that was, I was going to lead into that. I also assumed it was, it's a full class period or something. When are you guys working on this car, Matthew?
We usually work on it in our first hour, which we don't really have a designated time for this as other schools do. Some schools like Kansas City have a specific class time dedicated just to building the car. We have to do this either free time in our first hour or extra time out of class to work on this car.
And Josh and I forgot to bring this up. So third place at state, but obviously you're on an electrical battery, so you got limited power. The solar panels are providing just a tiny bit of charge. What was the methodology to kind of figure out what kind of power you have left?
We use a strategy. It's kind of like a 15-15 like strategy. We go for 15 minutes at 15 volts. And then once that 15 minutes is up, we just go as quick as we can for as long as we can.
And I don't know what that means. I'm not that technical, but obviously you're out there on the track, probably just start slowing down and you kind of know your race is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to heat the batteries up to about 110 degrees, and then we overcharge the batteries, and so what looks like 24 volts are getting close to 30 volts packed into those batteries, and so that's how we can extend the lifespan of the race itself, but we shorten the life of the batteries themselves also. And so at the last race, I actually got them up to about 130. And so I was kind of worried if I had ruined them or not. But we have a tool that we can measure them afterwards, the cranking amps, and it seemed to be fine. So, but I was a little worried because they're about $450 now for 2 batteries. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Electric car, what we call a racing team.
Yeah.
Sophomore Josh Manning, junior Matthew Williams, and Coach Travis Straub. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your third place state finish.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yep. More Sports Day after this.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Get ahead or catch up this summer with Barton Online. With 5 convenient sessions to choose from, Barton Online is the perfect fit for your summer goals and budget. At just $155 per credit hour, it's an affordable option for everyone. Financial aid options are available for qualifying students. Now enrolling for all sessions. Get started on your future today. Learn more at online.bartoncccc.edu.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day brought to you in part by the Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Also, Eller Auto Repair, a local mechanic can help on Graven Appliance Furniture and Sleep Source, and Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. If Dr. Kevin Sapezi could get Hesher to where he can walk again, just think what he can do for you. Welcome back to Sports Day here. Big baseball and softball day going on. Beautiful day, no wind, anything going on. It's Great Bend Sports Complex going to be hopping tonight. Great Bend Lady Panthers. I just feel really good about this draw. I guess I'm overlooking opponents right now. I know Valley Center, they got off to a good start, but 17-7 against 12-11 Goddard. They've got some pitching. If they've just got average to better than average pitching, Great Bend can swing the bats. So Great Bend against Newton at 5, Valley Center against Goddard at 3. I'm sure Kerry Minton's saying, just don't say that. Don't get overconfident, Mr. Radio Man. Feel good about it. Aaron Clark will have the call tonight around 5 o'clock on B104.3 The Point.
I don't know if anybody will know how to play in this. It's really humid, but they've been playing in wind all year, and the one time I got to go out and watch them, I think Kaya Bear hit one off the fence into a heavy wind. Obviously, Deshauna Bryant, Catherine Mazouk. There's some power, and to me it seems optimal conditions to maybe pop a few out of the yard.
Okay, Houston baseball coming up here at the top of the hour. Cole Reif with his sunbonnet on. He made sure that he remembered that. You do not want to go out there, especially with those headphones, and you forget to have your hat, and then what you have is you've got a tan mark going through the middle of your head from left ear to right ear. Not saying that he doesn't have hair up there, but in certain portions it could be a problem.
And if you see Cole Reif in a sunbonnet, we will take pictures.
Okay, also, Mike Hesher's going to be in action today. You ready to go, Hesh?
I'm glad you reminded me. I will make sure I take my hat. But I do have hair, so it's not as big a deal.
That is true. So what do you think about the Cardinals' chances? Beloit up first.
Beloit and Hoisington, to me, that is the biggest rivalry Hoisington has in postseason play is Beloit. So it's going to be tough. It'll also be interesting to see, Jordan Boxberger and Ellie Crawford basically are 1A and 1B pitching. Jordan pitched 3 innings yesterday. Ellie came on to pitch the last 4. In that particular game, Ellie looked a little bit more impressive. Neither one of them walked anybody, which is huge, as you well know. So I got to go with Hoisington.
While we're on the topic of Hoisington, I meant to bring this up, but I think it was official yesterday. Macy Hanslick, now a commit to the Denver University basketball.
That's interesting. Going to DU? The Pioneers?
The DU Pioneers.
Pioneers.
In fact, that was the record for a long before they actually counted the seats in the Coliseum back in your day, Hesh, when you were the Hall of Fame manager on the basketball team when they played Denver. 7,300 in the Coliseum.
Best game I've ever been to. That place was going nuts at the end. Fort Hays trailed by 10 with about 10 minutes to go, won by 10. The Coliseum was unbelievable.
They just estimated 70. Then they counted the seats a few years later, and it's like 68-32.
And they've taken some out now, too, so it's less than that.
Putting the hockey rink in, man. Hey, Larned playing today at 2. The softball team taking on Rose Hill at the McPherson Regional. Baseball team will be on Hits 106.9 right before 2 o'clock. That's a baseball matchup. I gave you Larned and Rose Hill. Softball will be playing at 2 o'clock and taking on Andale/Garden Plain. We'll be back tomorrow. Kind of piecing it together right now, see what's going on. A lot of baseball and softball again, and Great Bend Panther swimming.